don't know if there's a good week to be Rachel Zegler, but it was definitely a bad week to be Rachel Zegler. Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster, and I'm back. Thanks for sticking with us while I was away and not posting for a week. And now that we're back in the saddle, it's time to start giving the business to our old pal Zeggy. Rachel Zegler had a monstrously bad November after she had a meltdown over the US presidential election and was forced to release a cringy apology that she probably didn't even write. But her December is looking a lot worse because it's not so much anything Rachel Zegler did this month that's making headlines, it's how people are responding, or in some cases not responding to her, that's really exposed her actual worth in Hollywood.
I don't care.
First, there was the release of the Snow White trailer. Now, Disney tried to be cute with this, releasing it in theaters and not online to avoid the massive like-to-dislike ratio that it knew was coming.
I am assuming direct control.
Then, Hollywood itself turned on it through the shill access media, which has, up to now, existed solely to defend Zeggy against the hateful scorn of the common folk.
I defeated Scrooge McDuck! We were on the same team!
And then Y2K happened. This Zegler-led film actually was the disaster that people thought Y2K would be back in 1999. It was the first movie ever to be sold exclusively on Rachel Zegler's star power, and it showed without a shadow of a doubt just how brightly she shines in Tinseltown. Just how screwed is Rachel Zegler's career?
Alson, help me up onto his casket so I can dance on it!
Let's find out today on Tooneytown TV. All right, guys, here we go. Ooh, it's good to be back. Sitting in the chair again. Creating more videos for you guys. Again, I said it in the beginning, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Now let's talk about just the worst week of Rachel Zegler's life. Snow White trailer dislike ratio explodes in first 24 hours on YouTube. This is from thatpuckplace.com, the website where if you're not bookmarked to it yet, well, you should, because we cover all the news that should be fun, and it's written by myself, Marvin Montanero, Marvin the Movie Monster. Yours truly. Rachel Zegler's live-action Disney Snow White reboot trailer has finally been released on YouTube, and Disney fans are flocking to the video to voice their displeasure. The video has garnered, at the time that I wrote this, more than 195,000 dislikes in less than a day. The like-to-dislike ratio, well, let's talk about what they did here for a second. So Disney first released this trailer in theaters only. They released it alongside Wicked and then Moana 2, but didn't put it on YouTube. And everyone's like, they're hiding it. We know they're hiding it. We know why they're hiding it. And the reason why they were hiding it, guys, is because of exactly what you're about to see here. Now, the like-to-dislike ratio for a video can tell you a lot about how audiences feel. If you have more likes than dislikes, then you generally have a favorable reputation with the audience. But when the dislikes outnumber the likes by a wide margin, it might be time to panic. And it's safe to say that Disney might panic after Snow White's initial YouTube launch. The video currently sits, as of this writing, at 16,000 likes to a whopping 195,000 dislikes. Now, there you see a screenshot of that. 16,000 likes, 195,000 dislikes. And you know what? Just for S's and G's, let's switch over to the trailer to see how it's doing right now at this very minute. Oof! Ah!
Well, how about that?
27,000 likes to 701,000 dislikes. By the way, dislike. Yeah, this trailer is not doing well, guys. This is absolutely bombing out. Worse than anything you could have ever possibly imagined. I mean, just look at this. Look at just all of the ridiculous. Gal Gadot actually, or Gal Gadot, however you say it, actually looks pretty good in the role. She kind of looks like the evil queen, but man alive, you see Rachel Zegler in there Zeglering it up, and or zegging it up, as we like to say. You see things like this Mitch McConnell turtle. You see, and then you see the 7 Abominations walk in. I mean, look at this. Culture Casino hanging out there. No, I'm kidding. We love Culture Casino on this channel. He's our friend. But my gosh, those dwarves are hauntingly terrifying. Like they who decided? Well, I know who decided. Peter Dinklage decided that this is what needed to happen because he said that it would be offensive if we had actual little people playing these roles. But back to the article. Let's go back here. Disney held the Snow White trailer back for several weeks, releasing it in theaters alongside box office hits like Wicked and Moana 2. However, the company purposely avoided posting the trailer publicly online until yesterday, and many believed this is because Disney feared the exact reaction viewers were having to the trailer right now. Now, YouTube typically hides dislikes on its videos to the general public. However, they're still accessible with certain browser extensions that uncover the ratio and even highlight the discrepancy with green and red lines, which is what you just saw on my screen. This is not the first time that Snow White has achieved such a ratio. The last teaser trailer for the big budget Rachel Zegler live action remake currently sits, at the time of this writing, I'm sure it still is pretty much around here, at 99,000 likes to more than 1.4 million dislikes. My goodness, guys. So, what do people hate about this film? For one, the trailers have shown a much different interpretation of the original Disney animated classic, portraying Snow White in the 2024 strong, independent woman stereotype. This is something viewers are quite frankly getting tired of, particularly from Disney. Yes, guys, believe it or not, it is possible to be strong and feminine at the same time. Who knew? Not every woman needs to act like a dude in order to be strong. Then you have the dwarves. Instead of casting actual little people as Snow White's 7 friends, Disney caved to pressure from actor Peter Dinklage, who said that casting little people in the roles would be offensive. It should also be noted that currently just about every major Hollywood role made for little people goes to Peter Dinklage. Wonder why he would try to avoid putting 7 new people in the spotlight. That's a head scratcher right there. Disney went on to cast 7 diverse actors, only one of which was a little person, to play the roles, but reversed course after a set photo was mocked relentlessly by the entire internet. I missed that. I, for one, loved Snow White and the 7 Filthy Hippies. It has since gone with 7 CGI characters that have become the laughing stock of the film world. And then you have Snow White herself, played by Rachel Zegler. And we've talked about this to death, guys. But for those of you that haven't seen it, because every Tooney Town TV video is somebody's first. Zegler is an outspoken activist whose incendiary rhetoric has incensed an already agitated fan base. Time and time again since this movie went into production, she loudly and proudly criticized the original 1937 film, insinuating that it had sexist themes surrounding love and marriage. She noted proudly that her version of Snow White wouldn't be saved by the prince or dream of true love. Rather, she'll be dreaming of becoming, quote, the leader she always knew she could be. She also referred to Snow White's prince as, quote, a man who literally stalks her, before calling it weird in a moment that has become an infamous meme.
Yeah. Weird.
Zegler also used the film's last trailer as a soapbox to get her opinions out regarding conflict in the Middle East. When commenting on the widely despised trailer several months ago, Zegler ended her social media post by saying, free a country that we're probably not allowed to talk about on YouTube because we'll get flagged and demonetized. It should be noted that her co-star in Snow White, Gal Gadot, is a veteran of the opposing side's army, which should be, make for a very interesting press tour of the two of them are going to have to go on.
Fools! Idiots! Imbeciles!
Then following the U.S. presidential election, we went through this as well. We have a video on it, but she insulted and maligned and not threatened, but at least wished harm on half the country. Eventually, she did apologize for that. And however, there were inconsistencies between the rant and the apology, which led many to wonder whether she actually wrote it in the first place. Now, Snow White has also gone through several expensive reshoots, which ballooned the budget of the film to somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 million. That means Disney's looking at a major money loss should this movie fail. I mean, the movie's going to fail. It's not making its money back. It's cost almost $500 million. And with such a stock to like to dislike ratio, many wonder how it could possibly succeed. Now, you guys are pretty used to sites like ours, That Park Place, also sites like Bounding Into Comics, our good friend over there, Spencer Baculi. We shine a light on the truth in media. Now, you know who doesn't normally do that? The actual Access Hollywood media. But they did it last week. And let's take a look at a little bit more of Rachel Zegler's worst week ever. So first, her trailer gets a historic like to dislike ratio. Over 700,000 people have gone to YouTube specifically to be like, nope, not for me, and actually clicked a button to make that known. And most of these people can't actually see the dislikes. So they probably think they're the only one doing it. But, I mean, man, oh man. It's a pretty unanimous decry from the people. But then Hollywood itself decried Rachel Zegler. Let's take a look at this. ThatParkPlace.com. Hollywood turns on Rachel Zegler as Snow White trailer is flooded with dislikes. This is from WDW Pro on December the 5th. And he says, it appears that Hollywood is ready to come to the defense of Disney. Yeah, I could try to do it a pro. It appears that Hollywood is ready to come to the defense of Disney and throw poor Rachel Zegler overboard. It could be a cautionary tale for the outspoken young female star. That was my pro voice. I don't know if it actually. I've literally never tried to do that before, but just. I wonder if it came. Let me know if you liked it. The latest. I love Pro. He's a good friend. The latest Snow White trailer has reached a jaw-dropping 500,000 dislikes. That was at the time. Now it's much more than that. Almost 750,000 in just a single day. That's compared to only 22,000 total likes on YouTube. It's looking more and more wise on Disney's part to have held the trailer from true public access until a week after Moana 2 released. But whereas much of the movie is the result of Disney's own leadership or lack thereof, Bob Iger may be looking to trash Rachel Zegler and her career in order to get away from the controversy of sliming Walt's original film. This comes from Tatiana Siegel of Variety. And she says, but one upcoming release, March's live-action Snow White, has been dogged by expensive reshoots and controversies related to Rachel Zegler's social media post. The actress declined to take down a tweet thread that promoted the $240 million movie with a free certain country postscript, but did apologize for an Donald Trump and made Trump supporters never know peace Instagram post. Wading into divisive issues as Zegler has done isn't part of Disney's new playbook.
Avada Kedavra.
Now that is a stunning turnaround by the Access Media. I mean, that from Variety, especially, guys, that is essentially Variety rubbing her face in the mud while doing a dance around her while flipping her the double bird, the old Steve Austin salute. Rachel Zegler, once heralded as one of Hollywood's brightest rising stars, is now experiencing an unexpected turn of events. With a live-action portrayal of Snow White on the horizon, Zegler finds herself at the center of a whirlwind of skepticism and criticism, as early industry whispers suggest the film may struggle to reach its ambitious box office goals. Whereas it was fashionable at one point to take politically divisive positions on the Middle East or claim male heroes and fairy tales were less than aspirational, Zegler now faces a completely different world landscape. And Disney is all too keen to make sure that you know it's her, not them, that's against the majority. Imagine Rachel Zegler telling people to be kind when she actively tried to get Gina Carano canceled. Yeah, she was a part of the anti-Gina Carano crowd, her and Leslie Headland. And both of them are both Leslie Headland has already experienced miserable failure with The Acolyte. Rachel Zegler is about to experience miserable failure with Snow White. So we'll see how all that worked out for them. Yeah, her journey to Hollywood fame began in a rather unconventional way. Zegler was discovered via a casting call on Twitter for West Side Story. Her natural charisma and vocal prowess, evident even in her audition tape, catapulted her, from a New Jersey high school student to an overnight sensation. Following the success of West Side Story, Zegler was quickly cast in high-profile projects such as Shazam! Fury of the Gods and the upcoming Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Now, none of these projects succeeded at the box office, however, even the Hunger Games title being the lowest ever for the franchise. Now, that's important to note because this woman cannot make a hit to save her life. She is the mighty Casey of the film world. She strikes out constantly. That's a Casey at Bat reference for those of you that don't know. It's a poem. Look it up. Get some culture in your life. And I don't mean Culture Casino, but also get him in your life because he's a good guy and we love him on this channel. Rachel Zegler just came out with a new movie this weekend. You might not know. Not a lot of people did. The movie was called Y2K, and it tells a very fascinating story because, well, guys, it didn't do too well. And we can see it here. Rachel Zegler's Y2K bombs at the box office with $2 million opening. That's by me and Montanero on thatparkplace.com. Y2K, the latest film from supposed rising star and future Snow White Rachel Zegler, has bombed spectacularly at the weekend box office in its opening weekend. The outspoken Snow White actress hasn't had much luck at the box office since puttering onto the scene with Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. To wit, the woman has produced more bombs than Stark Enterprises.
That sounds like a Fat Albert joke.
See, some of that classic Marvin the Movie Monster still comes through on that Park Place. It's not shocking when you look at a public track record. The actress has had a series of widely publicized public meltdowns in which she bashed the original beloved animated Snow White, used the Disney film's trailer to advocate for a country in the Middle East, and appeared to wish harm of or misfortune on U.S. President-elect Donald Trump and his supporters after Trump's November election win. West Side Story was a remarkable flop, followed soon by Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which did nothing to turn around DC's dismal box office streak. Even The Hunger Games: A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes became a major failure, drawing the lowest box office take of any Hunger Games movie. Then, of course, there's the upcoming live-action Disney Snow White remake, which releases in March 2025. While there are no box office projections yet, the film's trailer has become must-see content for all the wrong reasons. Now, Y2K is a comedy horror film with a small budget of just $15 million. Zegler's, quote, star power has been the driving force behind all promotion. Therefore, Y2K is an interesting Hollywood experiment. West Side Story had Steven Spielberg attached. It was a Steven Spielberg film. Zegler was an unknown at the time. Shazam! Fury of the Gods and Hunger Games were both entries in established franchises. And Snow White, of course, is obviously, Snow White. It's an established Disney movie. Y2K is the first movie that's being sold exclusively on Rachel Zegler's ability to move tickets. So, how did Rachel Zegler's Y2K perform at the box office? Well, the film drew a measly $2.1 million in its opening weekend. Zegler's movie actually came in 8th at the box office. Now, let's take a look at everything that outdrew Y2K this weekend. Now, of course, no surprise here, topping the charts this weekend were box office giants Moana 2, Wicked, and Gladiator 2. Those movies have been seeing tremendous success, with Moana 2 reaching over $600 million at the global box office. It's actually surpassing Moana 1, which fell just short of $600 million, and that's only in its second weekend, guys. This thing is a powerhouse, and it's going to continue to be. Now, nobody thought Y2K, this little $15 million horror comedy starring Rachel Zegler, was going to unseat Moana 2. But we probably thought there could have been an opportunity for it to take the number 4 spot, if not number 3. Gladiator 2 has been petering off, so, maybe there could have been an opportunity for Rachel Zegler to kind of move in there. But the 4th highest grossing film of the weekend, which outdrew Zegler's movie by a considerable margin, is the Indian Telugu language action drama Pushpa: The Rule Part 2.
Shame. Shame. Shame, shame, shame. Shame on you.
The foreign film drew $9.3 million this weekend, so it didn't just beat Rachel Zegler, it crushed her. In 5th place is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Chris Evans in their Christmas action film Red 1, which pulled in over $7 million. It should be noted that this movie came out on November the 15th and was maligned by critics and viewers alike. It's a major bomb, having pulled in just $163,985,481 on a $250 million budget. Now, this considered the bomb of bombs this holiday season. Why are we letting The Rock make creative decisions film of the 2024 holiday season? And that destroyed Rachel Zegler several times over, probably well more than 3 times more, almost 4 times more than her movie. So my goodness, and yet it trounced Rachel Zegler's brand new movie. Trounced. Now, coming in at number 6 is a re-release of the 2017 film Interstellar. It pulled in $4.4 million this weekend. Yes, a re-release of a movie that came out in 2017 more than doubled the box office numbers for Rachel Zegler and Y2K. And not for nothing, guys, this ain't the first time Interstellar's been back in theaters. It's had like 4 re-releases before this. So, I mean, this is a movie that people have ample opportunity to see. And it still blew her out of the water. Then, in the 7th spot, more viewers chose to watch Sony's animated film Solo Leveling: Reawakening than chose to support someone that Hollywood claims is their next big rising star. And the animated film drew $4.1 million. Now, while it's true that Y2K had a small $15 million budget, it's still unlikely to make that back with such a stunted opening. The only green Rachel Zegler's film is seeing this weekend comes from Rotten Tomatoes, where the movie is certified rotten with a 43% critic score and a 50% audience score.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind.
With what appears to be another major failure added onto Zegler's list of Hollywood duds, what hope does Disney have to turn any sort of profit next year when the maligned actress stars in Snow White with a budget that has reportedly ballooned to over $400 million, almost $500 million, $500 million.
Spend money.
Guys, this is a bad week for Rachel Zegler. Her trailer gets ratioed into oblivion, okay? Then all of a sudden, Hollywood shill outlets like Variety start turning on her. Now, her movie, the first thing that's ever supposed to draw, and nobody was expecting this to make $100 million in its first weekend, but maybe we expected 10 million. Maybe we expected 7, 8. Somewhere above 5 at least. And it did $2.1 million. This has got to be a terrible week for her. Holy hell. Because her career prospect after this, if she continues to find work in Hollywood after this, then it is official, guys. There are some people that you just can't touch in Hollywood. And Hollywood is where you go to fail upward, because I can't imagine anybody, like, if you worked at like Target and like stocking shelves, and every shelf that you tried to stock, you're supposed to fill a whole shelf with like cans of soda, and you only filled like a quarter of the shelves, you're going to be fired. Obviously it's a performance driven job. Being a Hollywood actress like this, you have very concrete numbers put up against what you were paid and the budget of the film. And man, oh man, is she ever looking like a bad investment for Hollywood studios right now. So what do you guys think? Do you think it gets worse for Rachel Zegler after this? Do you think she's hit rock bottom? What do you think she'll do? Do you think we've heard the last of her, mouthing off in public? Is she going to try to stay quiet in order to hold on to whatever career she has left? Is the stage more where you're going to find her going forward? Sound off in the comment section below and let me know. It's always sad to see bad things happen to good people, but don't let anyone ever tell you that it's wrong to laugh when bad things happen to terrible people. What Rachel Zegler is experiencing right now is the consequences of her own actions. This girl is actually talented. She can act and she can definitely sing, but the problem is that she knows it. And she's one of those celebrities who thinks that the ability to stand up and convincingly play pretend for millions of dollars in some way makes them an enlightened person. These people need to learn that they're not immune or immortal. Hollywood can and does put up with a lot. Bryan Singer, Roman Polanski, and Woody Allen are still celebrated members of the industry elite after the horrible, heinous things they've done. Kevin Spacey and Lizzo are getting set for big comebacks, and these are heinous individuals. But it's all because at the end of the day, Hollywood is all about who your fans are, who your friends are, and how much money you can make for the machine. And Rachel Zegler has made no friends. I'm sure some Hollywood elite somewhere like her well enough.
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
But not the important ones. She's also pissed off the entire fan base and insulted more than half the country. But the biggest issue Zeggy has is that she proved without a shadow of a doubt that she can't make any money for anyone. And in Hollywood, that's the one inescapable and unforgivable sin. Thanks for joining us this week, and a special thanks goes out to our Tooneytown TV channel members. You guys are the secret sauce and the Big Mac of this channel's success, and for that, we thank you with special live streams every Monday at 3 p.m., exclusive content, and early access to videos like this one. So if you're not yet a Tooneytown TV channel member, consider joining today. Also, please make sure you check out Tooney Talk TV live on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. EST. It's a live stream pop culture podcast where you can join in the conversation and make your voices heard as a part of the Tooneytown community. If you liked what you saw here today, please like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop. From all of us here at the Tooneytown channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!